Hey everybody, Andrew here from Go Green Compost. And if you guys saw my last video where I was showing you the big pile of wood chips that I just got from a local arborist, you know that wood chips are an excellent source of carbon material for your compost, and also they're a really good way to build healthier soil for your plants. Now, I told you I would do a video showing you some of the specific use cases for wood chips that I have around my property and my garden. So to get us started, I wanted to show you guys the bananas behind me. Now, bananas are heavy feeders. They really like getting fertilizer and nutrients. And if you're doing an organic garden, you're not giving them any chemical fertilizers, one of the things you can do is spread wood chips all around the base in just a really nice heavy feeding. Wood chips are very rich in carbon. Fungi love to digest these things, so it's going to make the soil a little bit more acidic. And you know, bananas don't mind that at all. Bananas seem to really like a good heavy mulching periodically, and you can give them some organic fertilizer or some other nitrogen containing material like say grass clippings or something like that as well. It's not a complete feed for them. But every time I get a load of wood chips, I always spread a nice big mat around the banana plants like the ones you see behind me. And it's not just bananas that I give the wood chips to, I also spread them around pretty much all of my fruit trees. So behind me you can see I have a little mamey tree there, and this one right here is a loquat. And I just give all of my fruit trees, all of my perennial plants, really a nice dose of wood chips, because perennial plants like the fruit trees behind me, they tend to prefer a more acidic soil, and adding some wood is a good way to acidify your soil slightly, because fungi, which are what is going to eat your wood chips, they tend to make soil slightly more acidic with the acids and digestive enzymes that they excrete into the wood chips to break them down. So any plants like perennials, like the fruit trees behind me that like acid soil, will benefit from a nice mulching with wood chips. And behind me here I have my peach tree, and there's a strawberry guild underneath there, and you can see I've given them a couple wheelbarrows full of wood chips as well, because again, any perennial plants like that typically as a general rule are going to benefit from getting a nice mulching. And also the wood chips help a lot with water retention and keeping the soil moist. They prevent evaporation. So if you've got fruit trees or you've got perennial plants like those little strawberry plants you see down there, then you won't need to spend as much water watering them, and you won't need to spend as much time doing that, because the mulch really will help keep the soil moist underneath it. And another thing you can do with your wood chips is you can make compost out of them. They're basically a brown. You know, you've heard of greens and browns in composting, the greens being more nitrogen rich and the browns being more carbon rich. Well, wood chips are an excellent brown material to fill your compost bins up with. As you can see, I've just topped off all of my geo bins here, and there is some nitrogen rich material under those wood chips. I've got some food scraps and some grass clippings, things like that that are mixed in there. And eventually, as this starts to cook down, I'll probably get the pitchfork and turn this stuff and mix it all up. But the point is that if you're trying to make a lot of bulk compost, getting some wood chips is a really good way to do that, because they're cheap, they're easy to move around, they're finely ground, so they do compost relatively quickly compared to, say, larger wood like a log or a stick. Wood chips break down pretty quickly because there's more surface area for microorganisms to go to work on. So if you want some browns for your compost, you would be hard pressed to find something better than wood chips like the ones you see in this bin here. And then behind me here, this is actually an area that I use for kind of like a container garden, but right now I've moved all the containers out because I am spreading wood chips around just to help keep the weeds down. And you know, Paul Stamets, who's a mycologist, he says that one of the best things you can do for your ecosystem and for your yard's health is to just let wood rot. So what I'm doing here is spreading wood chips around, and I've actually got these logs. I got these logs from the same arborist who gave me the wood chips, so that was really nice of them. Very convenient way to get wood is just to partner up with the local people who are cutting down trees. Seems to make a lot of sense to me. Letting the wood rot here will definitely help to increase the diversity of microorganisms in the soil. It helps to encourage fungi, which is going to help any of your perennial plants, and it's just a good way to boost your soil health. So that's how I am using this load of wood chips around my yard and garden. They're a really useful tool. It's a really great way to build large quantities of great compost or healthier soil. It's a good way to feed the microorganisms in your soil and to build a healthier soil food web, just a healthier ecosystem overall. You know, letting wood rot is really something that anybody can do that's going to benefit your ecosystem. And if you guys want a few tips on where to get wood chips and how to acquire them very inexpensively, then check out this video that I made on the subject right here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all very much for watching. Andrew from Go Green Compost out.